Morning, Luke here, Tranquility Base, detailing, royal wedding weekend, all that malarkey, and I'm at work. So, I thought while I was driving to work, I'd tackle a subject, so at least I got something to upload for Sunday. So, this video, I'm going to look at what you can do to succeed as a brand. Now, I don't mean this is like some sort of patronising sales masterclass, but it strikes me that a hell of a lot of people want to get on board with the old detailing products, starting the brand, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of cliched, generic, I wasn't happy with what's on the market, I believe I could do better, I went looking. It's honestly, without being negative, it's chuff. If you're not happy with what's on the market, you've not looked properly enough, because there are plenty of winners on the market. And that is really one of the main reasons that a lot of you guys who start a brand fail, and a lot of you that plan on starting a brand will never succeed. But I thought, hey, let's give my input on it as a salesman. What can you do? Now, for me, there are three. There's an idiot who's going to get a parking ticket or even a bus lane ticket. So there are four things for me that you need to kind of look at. So there are the 3 P's, which is performance, price, and presentation. And then the final one, 8 series, you don't see those often. I want one. And then there is a unique selling point. Now, you need to consider all 4 of these if you're going to start a brand, because this is what's really going to set you apart, because the road to starting a brand is an easy one. Don't get me wrong, you go to Carchem, Achem, you know, other companies that make these, buy in bulk, rebottle, add a label, sell. Like, you know, the whole process of it is just sort of retail basics 101. The main problem that a lot of you guys are going to have with that is that what you buy from, say, Carchem in bulk, you rebottle, you have your costs for rebottling, your costs for labeling, and then you can't sell it as cheap as Carchem can themselves to me. So you're not really offering me any reason to buy from you. So you need to then consider, let's start first with the 3 P's. So price, performance, and presentation. So let's start with presentation. A lot of these brands that hit the market are very, very poorly branded. I mean, like, you know, really stinky product names, or, you know, real poor labeling, illegal labeling. I saw a brand the other day, some guy started a brand and he's got a picture of a Rupes polishing machine on it. And I ask you, the second that thing, if it were to catch on, the second it catches on, are Rupes going to be down on that guy like a ton of bricks? Hell yes. So don't, you know, unless you've licensed the rights to that image, as poor. It's poor business. It's not forward planning. So, does your product catch the eye? Is the labeling on it professional? Is it legible? Is it legal? You know, these are all things to consider. And have a look at your market. Have a look at your competition. Because I guarantee, if you have a look at what your market is doing, you can see the generic bottle that comes from Carchem. You can see the generic bottle that comes from Achem. You know, they're not the only companies that are doing this sort of, you know, white labeling stuff. You see the likes of Infinity Wax, you know, will white label for you. You know, I don't know for, say, like Wowo's and Angel Wax, but, you know, they're certainly big enough, capable enough. Auto Glands, I'm sure, are as well at sort of white labeling. So you can see this generic bottle design. So don't try and be like everyone else. Try and be your own brand. Same goes for labels. You know, have a label that is eye-catching, that is legible. You don't want a million different fonts on it. You certainly don't want spelling errors on it, because these things, bear in mind your market. You're selling to people that like to look at things in detail, and, you know, your label must reflect that. And it must be applicable to the type of market you're trying to pitch to. So I'm going to take as a case study, there's I think it's Valeting Products UK. Might be wrong in that, but I think that's what they're called. You have a look on their website and they have generic pictures of bottles that they have photoshopped very, very poorly, their labels over those photographs, and they look cheap. Saving grace, they are cheap. You know, they're selling things at £3 or £4 a bottle, so they can kind of get away with it. Conversely, you have a look at, say, a brand like Mitchell & King, and it's very classy and elegant and, you know, understated. But again, that's in keeping with their brand ethos, with what they're trying to do. So decide who it is that you're aiming at, and, you know, label in such a way that is appropriate for that. That's number one. So that's presentation. That does extend to your website as well. No shonky websites. Do your website right. Proper, secure methods of payment, SSL certificates, all of that. So that's number one. Number two, price. Now, price and value for money, that's really what I want to get at. But price, performance, presentation goes so much better than performance, presentation, value for money. I want 3 P's. So price, value for money. Now, by price, in order to succeed, I'm not telling you to be the cheapest. I'm not telling you to be the most expensive. I'm telling you to price for what you think your product is worth, what it can do, and what your time is worth. Have a look at what the market is paying for these things and take a bit of a measure. Again, you know, you've got people selling at £3 a bottle, you've got people selling at £50 a bottle for what are products that will do comparatively the same job, but they've both found reasons to price accordingly. And I'm not saying that the actual contents of the chemical are comparable. You know, one may be massively watered down, who knows, but you need to offer value for money in what you're doing. So the price needs to reflect that. If you want to offer a premium service, a premium product, you know, a premium look, a premium mindset, and then you price at £3, people are going to go, that makes no sense to me. You know, you're almost going to underprice yourself to the point where it scares people away. Likewise, if you want to charge £50 a bottle for your product, it can't be presented with a, you know, an inferior product. The product has to work. You know, it can't be presented with labels that have been printed on your own printer at home that you've maybe got for 30 quid from Currys. That doesn't work. So your price needs to reflect value for money, and that should come across in how the product looks, performs, how you run your business. You know, that's all important within that. Customer service is very, very important, because that's the thing that people are going to remember by and large. So price is another thing that you guys need to consider if you want your brand to succeed. And the final thing is performance of these 3 P's. Should the products work? That should be a no-brainer, yes. That being said, it is not enough to simply have your products work as well as everyone else's. You need to try and have them be better. Now, there is a massive stigma attached to white labeling products. I understand that. But think of it this way. When you employ a builder to build a house, you do not berate the guy because he goes to Wickes to buy his bricks. You don't go, you should be making your own bricks, that's why I've employed you. Screw that. The guy should be able to buy his raw materials and then through his skill, his craft, build greatness. That's the mindset to have. It's fine going to car chem, it's fine going to A-chem and saying, I want to retail a shampoo. But how should your shampoo perform? How should it dilute? It's not good enough just buying the 1900 to 1 and sticking your label on it anymore, because everyone else has done that. So you need to consider the performance. Does it work? Is it, you know, better? Try and find a way to make it better. Now, I'm not saying you're going to make the best shampoo ever, but try and focus your attention. Can you make the best shampoo on the market that's under £8, let's say? You know, that's an easier thing to do. You know, you're not going to have the exclusivity of a Paul Dalton shampoo with the price point of Carchem 1900 to 1. You're not going to line all of those things up. So try and line up where your market is and get your performance to coincide with that. That's very important. From there, that leads us on to a unique selling point, and that really encapsulates what we've covered so far. So consider this: you launch a brand, and then off the back of that, you want people to come and buy your brand. So the question for us as customer, why would we? What's in it for us? Why should we buy your brand? Because honestly, if you just say my shampoo is good, I've already got good shampoo at home. You know, if you say my wax is, you know, shiny, I have shiny wax. Why am I going to outlay to buy yours? there has to be a reason, there has to be that unique selling point. And you stack all of these things up, you build a case for your own, and then you need to know how to sell it. Now, that is a tough one because not everyone's a natural salesperson. So if you're not a natural salesperson, find a way to market it through a natural salesperson. So if you're really good at producing a brand, then maybe look at one of the resellers to retail it for you. There are enough around, but you've still got to sell your product to them. But at least you've only got to sell it to them once and then let them sell it onto, Joe Public. But you're going to need to give them a reason to stock it on their shelves. Does it clash with something they already sell? If it does, pointless. You're not helping them. They need a reason to sell your product, so you need to present them with that. So you really need to look at that unique selling point. You need to find something special for you, and then you need to persist. You really need to persist. The reason this was in my head, there was a post on Instagram 2 days ago from Cosmic Detail, and it said, "We're sorry, we're shutting up shop, we're closing our doors, thanks to everyone," so on and so on. And I mentioned it to Team TBD. I said, "Oh, Cosmic Detail have gone," and they all said, "Who?" And that is the problem. This market is so saturated that you need to shout. You need to make yourself heard, and the product performing and the word of mouth is the best way to do that. But this is a great case in point with Cosmic Detail. Go onto their Instagram. It's May and they've closed. They opened November last year. They haven't even hit a summer. So was there heart in it? No. Was it worth them sourcing, printing? No. Complete waste of time. So have that business model in mind, have that plan, and try and execute accordingly. But for them, that just looks to me like someone who's just wasted money. And I don't know what their personal circumstances are, so I don't mean to, insinuate or insult them. So if they see this, please take no offense. But from the outset, if you said, "I want to start a brand, I'm going to launch in November a car cleaning brand, a month where no one's cleaning their cars unless you're a trade. It's going to be specifically aimed at the show scene. I'm going to put loads of pictures out there of cars at shows and, cars that have been lowered and dropped and all of this, and it's all going to be that car scene type of thing. But I'm not going to have the brand going long enough to make it to the next show season. Will I succeed?" They know themselves the answer is no. I know the answer is no. You guys watching it know the answer is no. Yet so many of you will execute it that way. So you need to be heard. Now, there are different ways to do this, and there are different platforms. So, the forums, the groups, people like me, or, Paul Dolden, people have sent products to in the hope they get some exposure. It's all proactive and it's all going to lead somewhere, but it's all going to take time to build a buzz, to build a fan base and, a loyal customer base. So persistence is key. And, November to May, it's not persistent. Starting your own Facebook page, fine, great, do it. There are a couple different ways to do this, and again, I'm going to take specific examples. I could list a number of Facebook pages where they almost just kind of cater to themselves. They'll post for their own benefit. It won't really engage, it won't attract or intrigue anyone, it won't grow the people that are on that page. They just kind of post, and I see those and nothing happens, nothing grows. I'm going to take Jay's Wax as an example. So the Jay's Wax page is thousands of members strong. So Jason took a very proactive approach. Want to get people on here, want to get them added to it. How can I do that? And he put, product up. He enticed them. Come join, add your friends, you might win something. And people like that. People want to know that they can get something for very little / nothing. So he engaged and he got people on board. But you need to do things like that. In order to grow, you need to actually, speculate to accumulate. You need to spend to gain. It's old adages, but old adages tend to be around long enough because they work. So all in all, how do you succeed? In summary, if you want to start a brand, pin down your correct price point. Don't play around with it. Present. Set out your shop accordingly. Make sure it looks the way that it should for the price that it is, or even better. Performance, simply not good enough for it to work like everyone else's. You need to have something better and a unique selling point. Why should I give up on these companies that have invested millions and have been around and are trustworthy, reliable? Why should I give them up for you? Answer those questions, pin them all down, figure them all out, and if you can't, don't. Simply, you know, I'm not saying don't ever, never say never, but if you can't pin them down now, figure out why, figure out what you can do better. But set your stall out, lay your shop out before you go into business. You know, don't just set up, hope it succeeds, see nothing happen, get despondent, lose money. That's not good for anyone, and it's not good for the industry, because there's a new brand popping up every day and people are kind of getting a little bit like, you know, it's a buffet mentality of like, you know, how much is too much, and we are past that. There are too many brands bringing things that aren't unique, so work on those. If you have any questions, any queries, or anything I can help with, fire them and you know, ask away. And I wish you every success if you do plan on starting a brand. But yeah, work smart, work hard, persist, and you'll get there. So that's all. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.